And what's your definition for a proposition so we can get everything clear?
Yeah, propositions are the primary bearers of truth conditions.
But earlier, if I'm not mistaken, you said they're declarative statements.
Yeah, I just saw this guy. Good track. Well, I was giving an inductive case actually, which
No,
you guys
but you
totally
gave a
ignored.
definition. That's not an inductive case, retard. He asked you what's a proposition, and you literally
I
said,
gave you an inductive case of
no,
what
hold on.
propositions
Can you
were.
not interrupt me? You want a good faith. He asked you, okay, what do you think a proposition is? And you inherently just said a proposition is a declarative statement with truth aptness. Okay, that's all you said. Now that's what I'm going by. Now, it depends on what you mean, like, a proposition is, because anyone, by your logic, can define a definition, not a definition, a question or a proposition as one or the other and use it interchangeably, okay? So we have to be very clear with our definitions.
Oh yeah, so you want me to define propositions and questions as well? Well, I mean, already defined
No, I
propositions.
want you, I
Like, I'm
want
guessing you
you,
got that right.
listen, I want you to define like three things, okay?
Define what?
A statement, okay?
Yeah.
A proposition, and a question. Once we get that clear, we can continue further.
So our proposition, as I said, right, is going to be primary bearers of truth conditions, right? Questions are going to be possessors of determinate semantic content, and consider maybe possible answers, right?
Type it
And
out,
the
type it out.
statement,
Your speech impediment is too bad. I'm sorry.
I thought we were going to be good faith.
We are. I'm being honest. What? I can't understand you.
Hold on.
Who changed it to Tron versus Guy?
Oh, hold on. My sister entered my room. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Can you type it out?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Dick Riders in the chat.
Some parts of it sound very paradoxical, but like it's okay. That's what I just said earlier about the
Yeah.
who.
I'm just going to find a question.
Mm.
Are we going to have people care to not care or force people to not care? That's why I said that sounds kind of like a paradox.
I mean, I don't, it does, it's very confusing what you just laid upon me, but the point is you're kind of telling people.
Can you put it in like general or like a chat where people aren't just spamming?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll just copy and paste that. I don't know if any people are texting me. I'll just mute the.
Where'd you put it?
Right. I was trying to find general here.
Propositions are primary bearers of truth conditions. So what does it mean to be a primary bearer of truth condition? Because I feel like that's vague.
Yeah. So that's just gonna be minimally, which can be like evaluated relative maybe to possible worlds and embedded under attitudes.
Evaluated relative to possible worlds.
Embedded under
So
attitudes.
yeah, but how would you evaluate a proposition relative to possible worlds?
What does it have to do with anything?
The definition is relevant because we're trying to talk about the
It doesn't have to do with the definition.
definitions. Yes, it does, because you literally just said that primary bearers of truth conditions are like how you evaluate stuff within possible worlds. And now I'm asking you, how do you evaluate things within possible worlds to begin with, so I can get some clear understanding on what you mean by propositions, since that's linked to primary bearers of truth conditions, which is then linked to the possible world evaluation.
I mean, I can explain primary bearers for you and not get into all the evaluator, because then it's gonna roll into another proposition.
Well, okay, but didn't you already explain primary barriers of truth conditions to me? You said it's the evaluation of possible worlds, the evaluation of a certain proposition into possible worlds or whatever.
Well, no, that has to do with the whole definition that I gave you. But you asked me what a primary bearer is.
Yeah, sure, but what is the evaluation of, determining something to be within another possible world? Because that's what you said the primary bearer of truth conditions are.
No, I already told you. I already clarified. That has to do with all the definition, the broad definition. Now you just asked me, right, what the primary
Okay,
bearer
so
is,
then
right?
send the whole definition then.
No, I
Just
can
tell me what.
explain. That's the whole definition. I can tell you what
Okay,
a primary
sure,
bearer
sure.
is,
Just
which was your
explain what a
primary question.
primary bearer of a truth condition would be.
Yeah, just maybe an entity. We would say that carries a property fundamentally.
Yeah, sure, but that's not explaining what a wait, what? Wait, so you think primary bearer of a truth condition is an entity?
Entity is just analogous.
Bro, okay, be more clear about what you're saying, because not only are you speaking fast as hell, right? You're also not clear about what you're saying, okay? So can you give some clarification about what you're talking about? Because you said that primary bearers of truth conditions are some form of entity.
Well, it's there's gonna be like a I don't know entities concept whatever, right, or a basic kind that intrinsically possesses a given property.
What? So what does that mean?
What do you mean?
That's
What
what
does
I'm
that mean?
asking you. Well, what does it, bro? First of all, you're speaking way too fast. I don't even understand you. Second of all, you said that it's an entity that gives a property. So, well, what does it mean? Well, what does it mean? Like, what the fuck does that mean for an
I just
entity to give some form of property?
intrinsically possesses. I didn't say give. Well, given that
Okay,
property,
sure. It
we got that right.
intrinsically possesses a property, but what property does it possess? Like, what is this entity? Like, what do you
I'm
mean by
not.
all of
Hold
these
on.
things? You're so vague. You're not.
Do you
Okay,
know?
listen. Not to be rude or anything, but it sounds more like you're just trying to speak out of like theory, and you don't really know anything. You're just making shit up on the spot because you don't have proper knowledge. Not to be rude, that's what it comes across as. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do, but like, can you please like be a little more consistent and like speak clearly without talking fast and like you know give the proper definition?
You okay? Let me restate. Right.
Hmm.
You told me, or you asked me, right? What a primary bearer is, right? And when you ask, get like a property, it is a property of what, right? That's
No,
literally has nothing to do
that's not
with
what I
what a
asked
primary
you.
bearer.
That's not what I
Then what did
asked
you
you.
ask me?
I was trying to show you that the way you're explaining your definition is vague. So, for example, you're just saying an entity that possesses some type of property. Well, like, what is a property? Like, what do you mean it possesses a property? And how is that in any way related to, like, a truth bearer of truth conditions, or a primary bearer of truth conditions? How are those two related at all?
Well, a
That's what I'm trying to
standalone is
ask
not
you.
related to
And I
truth
told you
conditions. You
what?
try. I mean, gosh,
Yeah, yeah,
standalone. Hold
sure,
on.
sure, but
Do you know?
inherently you define propositions as primary bearers of truth conditions.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then to
Hmm?
back that up, you said the primary bearer of truth conditions is an entity that gives some form of property. Okay. And I asked you, what do you mean? Like that's still vague. Well, what is the property? Like, what do you mean it's an entity that gives a property? How is that related to primary bearers of truth conditions? That's why I said you were sounding vague.
Yeah. Property is just an asset.
I mean, sure, you can say our property is an asset, but that doesn't answer the question. What type of property? Like, what are you talking about when you say property?
Then,
Like,
then
it has some form of property. And not only that, I don't even think a property is an asset, but I'm not even trying to attack it. I'm just trying to get more understanding about what you're talking about. Because what does it mean? And how is, in any way, shape, or form, an entity that gives a property related to the primary bearer of truth conditions?
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
understanding.
Oh my gosh. I just told you, right? Like not to be rude as well, but you're
Mm-hmm.
honestly not tracking, right? Because I'm just telling you that you asked me what is a primary bearer, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when you asked me what a primary bearer is, right? I said, something in
That's not what
possession
I
with
asked
a.
you.
Oh,
I
did you or
asked you
did you just not just
what's a
ask me what a primary?
primary bearer of truth conditions, not a primary bearer. Go on.
You didn't say that. You just said what is a
Yeah, yeah,
primary bearer
yes,
of truth
no,
conditions?
I said,
he
yeah,
did.
primary bearer of
Continue.
truth conditions, right? Exactly. Go on.
Yeah. So a primary bearer of truth conditions, right, is
Exactly.
a basic kind that possesses. Right, the only thing given here is just gonna be truth.
This is
Okay,
true.
but what does that mean? See, the only thing given here is truth, but what is a primary bearer of a truth condition? You're not answering the question. You're saying a
Uh,
basic kind that's truth,
But I
but
have a
what does it
question.
mean?
oh my
How
gosh.
is that related to the definition at all? What?
It's not so for the primary bearer of truth conditions. Is that how you define a proposition?
Things that need to be fixed.
Well, that's within the definition of proposition, but he told me what to break
But and
down
then you
what a
just
primary
said now
bearer
it's
is.
a kind of truth. So
Fuck
our
yourself.
proposition is just a kind of
I didn't
truth.
say that
Like,
kind of truth.
You just did some record.
Okay,
no,
okay, whatever.
It's
that's
like
not what I said.
first you said it's an entity that gives a property mentally, and then you says the berrakine that intrinsically like possesses a property.
Yeah, because he
Then you
didn't
define a
agree. Hold on,
property
he
as an
didn't.
acid,
Oh my gosh.
and then you says hold on, wait, chill. And then you says the basic kind of that's truth.
athletes,
Like,
Yeah.
what does this
So,
mean? Like,
oh my gosh. So, further clarification, right? And maybe if you can stop
Mhm.
jumping in, right? Um, what he said, right? When I said entity, right? He didn't agree with that definition, right? Because he just said that, saying that proposition is an entity, right?
What?
I don't think you agree with
No,
that, right?
that's
Okay.
not that's not no, that's not even what I was talking about, and that's not even related to what I was speaking about.
That is
What
related
I
to what you're
asked
speaking
you,
about, actually.
no, it's not related to what I was talking about.
It
Like,
is.
it may be related to what you're talking about, but not what I was talking about. Because what I'm talking about is your definition of propositions, and you define a proposition as a primary bearer of a truth condition. When I asked you what it means to be a primary bearer of a truth condition, you said a basic kind that's truth. So what does that mean? How is that related to
Okay,
the
then
definition
my
at
mistake.
all?
I was defining the primary bearer then.
Okay, sure, but I'm asking you for the full definition. What is the primary bearer of truth conditions? Like, what is
Uh,
that? What does that mean?
well, they'll just be like an intellect insofar. Why is he laughing? An intellect
It's an
insofar.
intellect.
Oh my gosh, the intellect,
Uh-huh.
not an the intellect insofar as it is converted to being.
The intellect. Okay, type that out, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
That
What?
convert them
Okay,
to being.
oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. Convert of the being. Hold on, bro. You're not pronouncing something.
I didn't say
You're
convert.
not
Oh my gosh.
pronouncing something properly. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's your braces. I'm not even trying to be rude. Like, I'm not getting it. Like, it just sounds more like to me either your braces are dissecting with your like speech, or like you're just not like you don't have proper knowledge and you're not expressing it
Well,
properly.
and
In the most
just to clarify,
respectful way.
I'm not trying to jump in, but I'm trying to write down the fucking definition. You can't even explain the definition of proposition. It's really embarrassing.
What? Wait, oh my gosh. I'm literally giving the definition.
Can you type
If you
out?
please, can you?
Yeah,
I did type it in.
yeah.
I
I
typed
got
it
you. I
in
got
the
you.
chat.
In which chat?
Side
Side
chat.
chat?
Oh, I just type it in the general if you want to.
Yeah. Because there's a bunch of
Alright.
retards speaking right now. Well, a lot of the people are intelligent, but the niggas dick riding you are retarded.
I didn't
But
say the intellect that's converted to being, by the way. I didn't say that.
I conf-
Wait, guy, can you like put your definitions in chat because there might be like a little
I put him in general.
communication.
I got
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Yeah, the intellect insofar as it is conformed to being. Okay, so now this gets really strange because now you're saying that a proposition is, or well, the primary truth bearer of a proposition is literally just the intellect so far as it's confirmed to be. But like, if that's true, then a proposition is literally just the intellect insofar as it is confirmed to being.
Uh, you can, I mean, you can put it that way. Sure. All the Thomistic definition of what
Okay,
primary truth bearer is.
but then hold on, but then there's an issue because then you know every proposition it would just be the intellect that's confirmed to being. Confirmed? Did you mistype that? Conformed or confirmed?
Conform. It just means
Uh,
ontological
so uh,
alignment.
okay, the intellect insofar as it is conformed to being. So are you saying like propositions are knowledge dependent or something because it's the
It's not
intellect
psychological.
insofar?
So the intellect conform to being when it
Exactly.
receives the intelligible form of what it is, of what is. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's a little issue real quick. If you were to say that it's psychological and that propositions are
It's not
psychological,
psychological.
okay.
It's not
Okay, so
psychological.
why did you
I
even bring
no
up the
because I'm
word
not.
psychological?
What? I didn't say psychological.
So okay, then please type it. Bro,
Can
do you
you
need to
wait?
like
I Are you trying?
bro,
No,
it's
hold on.
like,
Are you
bro,
tracking? When did I say
I
psychological?
swear, cause your braces are like there's something wrong with you, bro. Cause you literally said psychological,
I
or
didn't say psycho.
you're just not articulating yourself properly.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't say psychological.
Maybe you just
Any
okay. Listen, in the most respectful way, maybe you're just not pronouncing stuff properly because I heard you properly. I was like going word for word. I was listening very carefully. Okay, I'm just not listening. Like I'm just not getting it in the most simplest way, in the most respectful way, because it sounds like you're just not pronouncing it right.
what? Okay. If anything,
Okay, just
if
please
anything,
type it
I
out, bro.
totally disagree that it is not. That's I typed that out. If anything, I disagree that it is psychological. If anything,
If anything, you disagree that it's psychological.
yeah. If anything, so
Okay,
and I
okay,
already
cool.
defined this
So
actually.
so
So
so then what
and
would
yeah,
intellect have to do with it?
my gosh. Do you know what like an intentional identity is?
I mean, sure, but that's not okay. Then what do you mean by intellect there? Then what? Because intellect can be interpreted in many ways. That's why I said
As
it
potency to
sounds
being.
potency to being. That's intellect.
Yeah. Well, I hold the Thomistic
Okay,
definition of that, right?
okay, sure. So then a proposition is just the potency to being, insofar as it's conformed to being. That's what a
Oh
proposition
my
is.
gosh, are you tracking?
What do you mean? Am I tracking? Do you
Do you
know
know?
what
Hold on.
that is?
Do you know what?
That's
Right,
A is
yeah.
identical to B is identical to C,
Do you,
therefore A is identical to C.
do you know what like a maybe pure potency or let's say do you know like a distinction between pure potency as intellect and actualization as intelligible?
Yeah, but pure potency or pure wait, what? Wait, say that again? Okay, sure, that doesn't attack what I said though. What?
Oh my gosh, because you're not
Are you talking
understanding
about pure
the
potency or
definition.
pure actuality? Because no, because
Oh no, I
here's
did
the
not just give you a
distinction.
definition between
When
intellect
you
and intelligibility.
Yeah, you did, but that's exactly what I'm attacking. See, you're like 5 steps behind the conversation. The intellect, so far, no, insofar as it is conformed to being, would just mean that then a proposition is defined as the potency to act, insofar as it is conformed to being. So inherently, every proposition is simply the potency to act, insofar as it is conformed to being.
I'm just gonna say this one more time, and please listen. The
Are you gonna
intellect.
respond to what I
Oh,
said?
in how am I gonna respond to something that really not what I said?
What are you talking about? No, listen, I just clearly attacked your definition and you just ducked it. What?
Oh, that's not even my definition. So please listen,
Bro,
because I'm just gonna
no,
say one more
because
time,
you
because you're
define
not tracking.
intellect as potency to being, right?
And then I give you a distinction. Yeah, and then I give you
Yeah,
distinction, right?
exactly,
First,
exactly.
yeah,
No,
I just
you
give you.
said you took
Oh my
Thomistic, you
gosh.
took a Thomistic definition, right?
Yeah, and you know what the Thomistic
Exactly.
definition is?
I mean, you can define it, sure. You can give a concept or an idea of potency. For example, if I have a glass of water on my desk, on my table, right? It's potent and it's potential that the glass of water has fallen and has no water in it because it's broken. But it's actual currently that the glass of water is sitting on my desk and the water is inside the glass, right? So there's a distinction. As long as there's more than one way in which you can conceive of something, you still do have the idea of potency to act or potency and act. Okay, you have the distinction. But what I'm saying, okay, is not related to the distinction at all. That's why I'm saying you're not tracking in the most respectful way.
Wait,
Okay.
can you say
What
that
I
last part?
said,
Wait, can you say that last part? I liked out. I very bad Wi-Fi.
which last part? What's the last word you heard me say?
You said I said.
Okay. Okay, you said that the intellect that's conformed to being is literally what a proposition is. Okay. But if the intellect here, if intellect is defined as potency, like potency and act, like distinction between potency and act,
Huh?
then you have an issue because then every single proposition would then be defined as the potency to act that's conformed to being.
How does it by itself is a proposition? I never agreed to
Yeah,
that.
no, okay, but then there's an issue with your definitions then. Because if inherently speaking, right, a proposition is a primary bearer of truth conditions, and a primary bearer of truth conditions is inherently an entity that gives a property, okay? And if an entity that gives a property is the intellect that's conformed to being, then the intellect that's conformed to being is identical to um, the bearer of truth conditions, the primary bearer of truth
No,
conditions,
the
which is then what a proposition is. So there is still the trace between the intellect that's conformed to being and propositions. So then propositions would then be the intellect that's conformed to being, and
the
the intellect here would be potency to act. So what
that's
don't
not
you
what
get it?
intentional identity is. That's literally not what intentional identity is.
Okay, now you're changing what you said because you previously just told me that intellect
No,
is
no,
no
hold
because you
on.
told me intellect is
That's why I asked you
potency to
prior to
act, and
that.
you said you took a Thomistic view.
No, that's why. Yeah, that's what I actually asked you that, right? If you actually knew what like intentional identity is, right? just so you don't get it wrong, but you did get it wrong. You said that you
I
didn't.
got
I
what
mean, I
wrong?
don't. Yeah, you got wrong
What
what
I
I
get wrong?
defined. Yeah.
What did you
So I
define?
told you. Okay, so listen
You're
carefully,
not being
right?
specific.
I
You're not
define.
being specific.
Oh my.
What
Then
do you
let me
define?
talk. Then let me talk, and you're gonna actually
Okay,
understand,
just
right?
tell me the word you define. I don't know why you're trying to oral farm. Just tell me the word you define,
Yeah. So again, right? So
right?
because you actually got it wrong. Conform,
You're
right?
not, bro. Answer
S-
the question. Why are you
Oh
running?
my gosh! And
What
I'm
is
gonna
the word
fucking
you
answer.
defined? No, you're
Yeah, I am
not.
gonna
You're
define.
not.
I
You're
am
not
gonna define
answering.
them.
Okay,
Did I? Oh my.
dude. I didn't ask you to define a word. Oh my God. What I
Oh my.
asked you
Yeah.
is to tell me what you defined, not to define a word, but to tell me what you defined.
Tell me what I've defined. What does that mean?
You literally said that I got wrong what you defined. And now I'm asking you, okay, so what is it that you
Oh, okay,
defined
okay.
that I got wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did. Yeah,
that's what I'm asking you. Yeah.
yeah. So you got conformed wrong. You got intellect. You got
What?
intellect, and you got intentional
Okay,
identity wrong.
so how did I get conformed wrong?
Yeah, you said it's psychological.
No, that's not what I said. I was talking about intellect because I thought you were talking about intellect being psychological. But then you said, "Oh wait, intellect isn't psychological." Or well, propositions are psychological. Okay, you think they're entirely objective when you go against them being
Then
psychological or
tell me. Then
whatever,
tell me.
right?
Then
And
actually,
then and then exactly, and then you said intellect is defined as potency to being, and you just took a Thomistic standpoint upon that. Okay,
hmm
and then I said, okay, cool. If intellect is potency to being, then a proposition would just be dumbed down to the potency to being that's conformed to being.
no. Okay,
That's what
listen.
your
The
definition would be.
intellect is conformed to being when it receives intelligible or form of what is, right? Do you
So
get
are you
that?
saying the intellect is just potency here? Like, okay, can you define intellect?
Yeah,
Just the word.
intellect. What's it called? Intellect is pure potency with respect to the intelligible forms, right? Being,
Hmm.
when intelligible, actualizes the intellect, right? So when the
Yeah. Okay.
intellect
Cool.
knows, okay, it becomes what it knows intentionally.
Exactly. And then you're saying that every proposition is potency that's conformed to being.
Not by itself.
But that's literally what it traces down to because if that's not by itself, okay, then there's an inconsistency within your definitions. Because then the intellect that's conformed to being is then identical to the bearer kind that intrinsically possesses a property, which is then identical to it's an entity that gives property, okay? And that is identical to the primary bearers of truth conditions. So if all of those are identical and the primary bearer
No,
of truth condition is an entity that gives a property and an entity that gives a property is identical to a basic kind, okay? Like of truth, a basic kind that's truth, and that is identical to the intellect that's conformed to being, then the chain, okay, of definitions that you gave has led us to the intellect that's conformed to being. If it's led us here, then we can go back to where we started, and the place where we started was proposition. So you're inherently saying a proposition is the intellect that's conformed to being.
no, because there's a difference between the first act and the second act.
What do you mean the first act? Who brought up first acts or second acts? Do you think
Yeah,
do
because
you think
you think
definitions are
the first.
acts?
Do you know what an act is?
Yes.
Can you give me a definition between the? I mean, can you tell me what a first act,
Are you
second act,
talking
and
about
a third
act
act?
in potency and act, or are you talking about acts
No,
as in like
that's
an
not act.
action?
No, oh my gosh.
Okay,
So you,
okay, but
but
that's
so
why I'm
you did
asking you,
not.
what are you talking about? What type of act are you talking
Then
about?
don't.
Because there's
Then don't.
multiple definitions of an
So
act.
you're attacking something I'm not saying.
What? No, you're literally the one who asked me what an act was. How does? Okay, hold
I
on.
didn't
How did
say.
you even
No, no,
conclude
no.
I'm? No, no, no. How did you
I
even
didn't even
conclude
say.
I'm attacking something like you're not saying? Go ahead.
Sorry.
How
How
did you
did you
conclude
conclude?
that I'm? No, how
Yeah,
did you
then
conclude
you're
that
attacking something I didn't say.
I'm attacking? Yes.
Yeah. So when you say, when you say, well, this is gonna be related to every proposition, right? Which was is what you're attacking, right? So
That's not what I said. I
what
didn't
did you
say it's
say?
related to every proposition. I said each definition, okay, leads off from the previous. Okay. So propositions being the primary bearer of truth conditions leads off to an entity that gives properties. Okay. That leads off to a basic kind of truth, which leads off to the intellect that's conformed to being. If it leads off, okay, from each definition, then we can go back
Oh
because
my
since
gosh,
each definition is
that's not what
tied to
truth
each
is.
definition. What?
That's not what truth is, and I gave it to you
That's
4
how you-
times.
What?
That's how you can
And I
define
give
it.
it to you
When did
4
I? When
times.
did I? Bro, when did I
And I-
say? Well, okay, hold on. Please just let me know when I said that X is truth or like that there is some form of truth. Like I was quoting your definitions. So what? What are you talking about?
Truth is the outer question of intellect and being. So, and I
Can you
define
please
between the
listen?
intellect and the
I'm not
being.
talking about truth. I never bring up truth.
You did bring
When
up
did I
truth.
bring up truth? No,
Oh
I was
gosh.
quoting your definition. It's literally in chat. Everything you said is quoted.
It's all written down in recording.
Yeah, and then I
Exactly.
gave
So
you
I was
and because you
quoting
asked me
you.
a further
So where
reduction.
did you
Yeah,
get
and you
the?
asked me a further.
y-
Oh my gosh.
No.
You
I
asked me
didn't
a
ask you
further
for the
reduction.
reduction.
Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't ask you for
When I
anything.
put the definition,
Okay. What do you think I said? Tell me.
yeah, you said that the truth is just gonna be what's it called? Pure potency, I guess, because
No,
that's what
that's
I
not
said.
what I said.
That's what you said.
No, I said that each definition, please listen, okay? I don't have a speech impediment, so there's no reason you shouldn't be checking. Each definition leads out from the previous, okay? Each subsequent definition is subordinate to its previous definition. So, proposition definitions that you were saying every time I question each definition, which then led us to the intellect that's conformed to being. Yet you want to deny the fact that the intellect that's conformed to being by itself isn't what a proposition is. Yet that's what the definitions led us onto. Yet if that's not what it is, then there's an inconsistency within your definitions because then one case of leading off from a subordinate definition to the subsequent definition doesn't satisfy the current definition that we've just reached from the initial definition that we were questioning.
Are you going based on the definition that Tron typed out or that I typed out?
I'm going off of the definitions that you typed out and then Tron noted down what you said.
That's not what Tron literally didn't note down what I said.
Wait, conclude.
That's not what I
conclude,
said.
No,
conclude.
you said the intellect insofar as it's
Yeah, yeah.
conformed to
I
being,
think we
right?
could just
No, hold
yeah,
on. You said the intellect. Okay, as long as we got to the very fact that the intellect insofar as it's conformed to being, as long as you want to like concede that very point to me, okay? That the intellect insofar as it's conformed to being, as long as we got to that very point from previous definitions, you already have the chain of definitions. So whether or not you even said the definitions that came before it isn't relevant because the main point at hand isn't about what you said previously, but about the fact that we reached the current definition, the intellect insofar as it's conformed to being, from the initial definition, which is the primary bearer of truth conditions. As long as you have this very chain, then you have a connection and a link. And if one definition isn't wholly the previous definition, then there's an inconsistency within your definitions because what you're defining it as isn't actually what it is.
I mean, he
Yeah,
defined
so-
the previous definitions as an X. It's on recording. So
Oh my god, yes. Hold on, I don't even know why you're laughing since you're getting everything wrong. Right? So hold on, can I
What
did I get wrong?
redefine can I like redefine them again because you're getting everything wrong? Hold
Bro,
on,
you
do
didn't
even
listen
know-
to what I said. Well, okay, what did I say,
Oh,
Tommy?
yeah, okay. Hold on. Can you define what a conformed is and what I defined it?
I don't know what you define it as. That's not even what I questioned.
Then
What?
don't tell.
I questioned
then, oh my gosh.
intellect.
Then
I
don't
questioned
say.
intellect.
Then
No, but that's not the point. What? You're not listening. My argument has nothing to do with what you define it as. You're not tracking. What? Tell me what my argument has to do real quick.
Didn't even give an argument.
Okay, we can conclude. We can
conclude.
conclude. We can conclude.
So you
This
concede?
nigga's so trash. No, I said we can conclude. When did I say I concede? What?
do you want to conclude, guy? He wants to conclude.
Yeah, I want to conclude. Do you know what concluding is, or do I have
I
to
don't
tell
want
you
to
what it
conclude.
is?
You just have
You don't want to conclude, but okay. Listen,
I actually,
two judges
hold on.
are
I
telling
actually want to
you.
go thoroughly. Hold on. I actually want to